In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Aircrack-ng to discover wireless networks around you. Then I'm going to show you how to deauthenticate clients from a specific wireless network. So that you can capture the four-way handshake, open up the four-way handshake within Wireshark, but also decrypt or hack the Wi-Fi password. Now, before we continue, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this type of technical hacking content, I cover a whole bunch of hacks on my YouTube channel and a whole bunch of other technical information. So please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Please like this video if you enjoyed the content and click on the bell to get notifications.
I'm going to open up a terminal window and I'm going to use a command IP address to see IP addresses and interfaces on this virtual machine. This is what we want to see. We've got a wireless LAN adapter. At the moment the state is down, but it's important that we see a Wi-Fi network adapter. You can also use the command config if you prefer, and that shows us that we have a Wi-Fi network adapter. At the moment the mode is managed. What I will show you here is I do have this rule release of Kali. So cat OS release shows me that I'm using Kali 2024. You could also use uname to see details of the Linux version. So once again, I'm using Kali in this example. Okay? So the next step is to run sudo. That gives us root privileges. We're going to use m1ng to check for any conflicting processes and kill them. We can see that this process was killed. Okay, so once again, the config shows us that the wireless network interface is in managed mode, but what we want to do is put it into monitor mode. By using the command sudo m1ng start w as warn 0, we can see that monitor mode is now enabled. The config shows us that the mode has changed from managed mode to monitor mode. You can also confirm that by using the command sudo man-ng. Notice the wireless interface is now LAN 0 Monday. To do that, we use the command sudo aerodump-ng LAN 0 Monday, and as you can see, a whole bunch of wireless networks are discovered. So here are the various SSIDs or MAC addresses of the wireless networks. I'll make this a little bit smaller, and as you can see at the bottom here, various stations have been discovered. I've made the font really small. I'll press Ctrl-C to cancel that. So Ctrl-C to break and I'll zoom in. The network that I'm interested in is this network TP-Link F3FC. Notice it's using channel 2, and that's the MAC address of the access point. So you're going to want to take a note of that. We can see once again, channel is 2 for this access point. MAC address is that. I'll clear the screen. And what you could do is use the command sudo aerodump-ng and the MAC address to display only that access point. So we can see the BSIT. We can see how many beacons are being sent. We can see the SID or the name that we as a human would use. We can see that this client is connected to that network. Okay. So I'm going to cancel that, and we're going to use the command sudo aerodump-ng. This is the name of the file. The channel that we're going to attack is 2. The BSIT that we're going to attack is this. And the interface we're going to use is WLAN 0 Monday. So in one window, open that up, and then in a second window, authenticate clients from the network. So just before I press enter, at the moment notice, we haven't got anything displayed here. We haven't captured the four-way handshake. But as soon as I do authenticate clients, and this auth0 means we're not going to stop the number of authentications used against that access point. Notice a whole bunch of auths are sent on my phone. Okay, so there you go. You can see the WPA handshake was captured. Client is not able to connect to the network, but we captured the handshake. Ctrl-C allows me to stop this process.
So you could simply use that script as an example to deauthenticate everyone off a network if you wanted to. So that's another attack. You could do a denial of service attack against an access point just to stop anyone connecting to it.
In this example, if I type ls, what you'll notice is we've got this hack file captured. Okay, so I'll close that down. At the moment, the Wi-Fi interface is still in monitor mode. So what I'll do is stop monitor mode. The config shows me that the interface is back in managed mode.
When you put an interface into monitor mode, it'll jam your internet connection. You won't be able to use that interface for connections onto the internet because it's monitoring traffic.
Okay, so let's clear the screen. So Alice once again shows me the files. Hack01cap is the file that we want to use for cracking. And to do that we're going to use this command, Aircrack-ng hack101.cap. And the word list that I'm going to use is stored in user share word lists Nookie. So let's try and crack that password with the word list. And there it is. The password that I used was hello. Hello. What I could do now is use Wireshark to open up the cap file. So a whole bunch of information has been captured, but I'm going to search for the handshake. And notice here we can see message 1, message 2, message 3, message 4. So we've captured the WPA 4-way handshake. We had some additional messages, but here's the full 4-way handshake between a TP-Link device and my iPhone. So you could open up the Wireshark, capture and have a look. But notice in message 2, we see WPA key data sent from the iPhone to the TP-Link access point.
And that's what we want to do. So the device is sending authentication information to the access point. We're capturing that, and that's what we're going to decrypt. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I want to wish you all the very best. Thank you.